Hey, this is Rob Schulte. I'm going to do a quick summary of parts 2 and 3 of The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Okay, so the first question asks, discuss the methods of habit formation in families and communities. So habit loops are three parts as we learned in the first summary: cue, routine, and reward. Cue, routine, reward. And they're a loop. And then we got keystone habits. Keystone habits are whenever you change one habit and you realize how it benefits your life. So you start like a cascade effect where you change a lot of habits because it's beneficial to you. So discuss the habit formation in families. So kind of what I gather is from the story of Tom Payton. So Tom Payton's story from the book is essentially he struggled with food, eating, and he was overweight, and he learned to change his relationship with food. And he and his family went on a family vacation to Costa Rica. And every night in Costa Rica, they would have dessert with dinner. And whenever they came back to the States, he overheard his son saying that the dessert was the best part of their whole vacation. And with Tom knowing his eating relationship with the food, he saw it as a problem because he acknowledged that his son had an unhealthy relationship or potentially unhealthy relationship with food. There are a lot of other things that he thinks out-trumped the experience with the food, but his son thought that was the best part. So that's the habit formation in families, kind of like it's learned. Habit formation in communities. So the example from the reading I want to use is Mr. Pratt. Mr. Pratt is a teacher. He teaches at Berklee College of Music, and so he would ask his students to write down their habits, their goals, and they would write down like how to figure out how to modify their habits to get to their goals. So that was their community in this classroom. So their habit formation, they were learning what habits they had around school and how to change those habits to do better in school. And they were doing this as a community in the class. So discuss methods of question number 2 is discuss methods of habit change in families and communities. So going back to the Tom Payton story, the man who had a bad relationship with food, in his opinion. So he thought his son had developed that too, maybe. So he, whenever they had dinner, wouldn't change the habit loop. What he did was he changed the routine in the middle to get the same response at the end, which would be the reward. So instead of having dinner and then eating dessert being the big part and getting that reward, it was more about eating together. It was about rewarding him for teaching his other son, his son teaching his other son good eating habits, stuff like that. So didn't change the cue and reward, just change the routine in the middle. That's how that family changed their method of habit change for that kid. The family did the right thing, and they came in and they helped their son. And then habit changing communities. So going back again to the Mr. Pratt story and his classroom, the kids were able to identify what habits they could change to get to their goals, which resulted in better routines and better rewards because they were reaching their goals. So that's how you can change communities, by making them realize what they're doing in the routine and how it can affect the reward. And the reward was to do whatever their goal was. And then apply this concept to a patient, to a family, or a community. Applying it to a family. Okay, because that fits the subject. Okay, so to a family, say you have a family that watches TV every night. And they are thinking about changing that habit. So you've already formed a habit. So you have the cue, routine, and reward. You get home from work, you watch TV, and the reward is that's your bonding time with your family. So as a clinician or as a friend, you could say, hey, on Wednesday nights, how about you guys have game night instead? and they say, okay, we'll give it a try, and they try it, and then after doing it for a few weeks, the family learns, hey, like game time is better than TV time with the family, and now they're, playing games multiple days a week, and now TV is kind of on the side because they learn that like they have other hobbies and they like can be more competitive and more involved when they play games together instead of passively watching TV. Anyway, thanks.